to another California Guy video with your boy California Guy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this video. This video will be entitled Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Tonight is Survivor Series, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and breakdown of the Beast versus Brock Lesnar. This is the most anticipated rematches, I think, in wrestling history, in WWE's history, in wrestling history. For a couple of years, Brock Lesnar has been dominant. If anybody has watched Brock Lesnar and followed his career, and I've followed his career, I've been following Brock since he came to the WWE. I always knew that he would be the next big thing, like they always said. Brock got that physical skill to match a person in the ring. You know, big guys. You know, he's a big dude. But Brock retired a couple of years ago, or he left to play football, and then he returned again back to the DE as this super monster, like Andre the Giant, almost invincible type guy. I mean, he kicks people's ass. The last like almost 5 years since Brock has returned, he's fucked up John Cena, Triple H. Who else I could think of? Undertaker. He ended Undertaker's streak recently. These had feuds with Roman Reigns, and his other feud was with Dean Ambrose. So that he is main eventing him as this super monster wrestler, and he does UFC, which you had controversy on that. He'll be taking on Goldberg. Now, my thoughts on that match is I am a what you call that? I personally wanted Brock to go against Kurt Angle again. Now, I remember back in the mid 2000s when Kurt Angle had a feud with Brock. I think now, with both men being older, late 30s, these men in their 40s, that I would love to have seen a Kurt Angle Brock match. I think Kurt Angle could kick Brock's ass. And another opponent for him too is Bobby Lashley. I know people have been thinking of opponents, but my personal opponents is Bobby Lashley and Kurt Angle. Goldberg is my other pick too. I'm glad that they got Goldberg. The match tonight, I believe that's going to be a brutal fight. That is going to be like the clash of the fucking titans. That match is going to be the most physical match that I think that is going to be one of the most physical matches that they've had since Undertaker and Brock took each other on first. I mean, Brock, the opponents that they've built up with Brock. Brock is a deadly machine in this ring. He is a very deadly. He's one of the most deadliest. I believe he's one of the most deadliest wrestlers and I've watched wrestling for almost 30 years. So I have a 30-year history of what. And if you guys want me to do more wrestling videos, I will. But I've been watching wrestling for like almost 30 years. I watched WWE and WCW and ECW. So I've been a major wrestling mark for years at a time. I keep up with wrestling news, like people like Jim Cornette. I'm an old school wrestling fan at this point, but Brock is one of the most deadliest. My only thing with Brock though, and here's my problem with Brock, and I've said this is just me ranting a little bit. Brock Lesnar, if you're gonna have him in a wrestling company such as the WWE, you need to. I suggest not to put the title on him. I thought that was a mistake a couple years ago, making him be the WWE champion. Brock should only be situated for people like a Goldberg. And like I said, I got opponents for Brock. 5 opponents. If Brock, since Brock is still active in the WWE, 5 opponents for the next 3 years. I got planned out if I was booking. If they could get him, Kurt Angle. If they could get him, Bobby Lashley. If they could get him, but if you just can't get those two, next WrestleMania, The Rock versus Brock Lesnar. I think if you guys want to make money, the Rock and Brock Lesnar would be the perfect matchup. Both men are very popular, physically demanding, and The Rock and Brock will just shake the whole foundation of the WWE and the WWE universe. I would love to see that. I know they fought back then. I know people say, well, they fought back then. Yeah, that was a different Brock Lesnar at the time. Brock that was there the first time around, he was a lot different than he was today. Brock was much younger. He kind of was. The guys was putting him over, but Brock still wasn't the way he is today. Where he has the UFC training and the mixed martial arts background and different collegiate type style moves, and Brock needs opponents that can match those moves. He's very brutal, very very brutal guy. I follow this guy. I enjoy his interviews. By the way, he takes those shit. He's one of the most dangerous WWE wrestlers uh, in the business since Bruno Sammartini. You really didn't have too many deadly opponents in the WWE, but you had Bruno Sammartini and Dan the Beast Severin and what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name from UFC too. But they didn't know how to use him. I can't think right now. You guys could leave a comment for me because I can't think of his name right now. But you guys leave your thoughts on like who's gonna win tonight against Brock and Goldberg, and we're gonna start some wrestling talk up. If you guys want me to do more wrestling talk, and I know a lot about wrestling, I know a lot about wrestling history, let me know in the comment section, and we can start some wrestling talk. Peace out.